Hi everyone, so I'm not sure whether you've seen the video of me going through the Essential Darker Studio collection. It's kind of rushed through it because I just wanted to get through all the actions and there's so much involved. Just wanted everyone to see what you got. However, this is a proper edit tutorial. I'm going to show you the actions in use. I'm not going to use all of them because that would be ridiculous. I'm going to show you how I use it and how much time it saves me. Obviously, it's going to take a little bit longer because I'm explaining it, but you can imagine if I wasn't talking, it's going to take a lot quicker. I got through this image in about 9 minutes, I think, yesterday with the collection, which is a lot because she has eczema on her skin. Luna is absolutely beautiful, but her skin is a little problematic to edit because of the different tones and the eczema. So it was a fast edit. So and the first one took me a lot longer without the actions. So the first thing I'm going to do is crop the image. I'm just cropping it 10 by 8. I am going to use the remove tool just to get rid of this here. And then I'm going to use the patch tool to remove that little bit there. I'll blend that background in. I can't see that, but I know that it's there. Okay, so then I'm going to go to my actions and let's zoom up. We've got handy actions and then base actions. I'm just going to look through the handy actions. I don't think I need anything there. She's in focus. Everything looks great. We don't need to tone down any harsh light or anything. Sweet Soul base, I would usually start with that, but I think I'm going to go with a lighter base. I don't need to use both actions. It's just going to waste time and I don't need to do that. So light base, I'm clicking that, that's going to play. It's working on my subject and the background, you can see. I really like this because I love the background and I love that it's bringing everything together. You can see it's not just brightening the whole image, it's working separately on the background and the subject. It is working separately on there. You can open the layers, you can play around with the adjustments. Practically everything is editable in this collection, so I want you to understand the actions as well as be able to use them. So I'm going to turn the opacity down a little bit. I'm going to use one of my handy actions. I'm going to merge layers, and then that way I can use my remove tool and just fix that little bit there. So don't be afraid to come down, go back up, come down, go back up. Like, it's absolutely fine. You don't have to use everything in the order I have put them in. Everyone works differently with actions, and that's absolutely fine. Okay, so I'm just going to use the remove tool because she's got a couple of scars on her head that are from chickenpox. Nobody has an emotional attachment to a chickenpox scar, so you're absolutely fine to remove them. So then we have some more base actions. It just depends whether you want to use them at this point. I think I'm just going to go straight in with the skin, so I'm not going to use any of the base actions yet. I'm going to start with the essential skin. It's just going to be a really, really good base to fix the rest of the skin. I am going to have to do some frequency separation as well, but essential skin is such a beautiful action. If someone had the most perfect skin and he was masking this on, it is going to make it look unreal without anything else. You won't have to do any frequency separation layers. Unfortunately, we don't all have perfect skin, do we? And I definitely don't. So we are going to have to do a little bit of frequency separation as well, but I have included that action for you just so that it's easier for you and saving you to scroll. I have said this before, people have asked what is the difference between the Fine Art Painterly Portrait collection and this, and to be honest, they're made completely different. There are a couple of actions that are going to be similar, like frequency separation or the dodge and burn actions, because there's nothing I can change about them, but I can assure you that every single action, apart from the perfect soft skin action, has been made especially for this collection. Everything has been remade. So if anything has a similar name, it's not necessarily going to work the same. So the frequency separation actions, of course it's going to work the same, but like the lighter base, the darker base, they're not going to work the same. They're working completely different, and to save you time, energy and stress levels. Right, okay. So you can see that's a really, really nice base now for my frequency separation. It's going to save me so much time. When I do the frequency separation, it's not going to take me as long. So before I do any frequency separation, I'm going to come to my brush on subject adjustments, and I'm going to choose, where is it? I am looking for this, fix dark eyes, fix dark under eyes, fair skin. So I'm going to choose that, and I'm going to just mask that on under the skin there, and then using a 100% opacity brush, I'm going to mask that off. Now the reason I did that was just so that I could show it you in use, so you can see that in use. So if you're going to do frequency separation just for that, then don't bother, because I've saved you the job and you can just do it like that. Okay, so I'm just going to keep that layer on, and I'm going to click frequency separation. I love this collection. You don't have to flatten to use any other action. You can use all of the actions without flattening. So I am just going to fix a little bit of colour in here. She has got eczema, so it can just be a little bit of fixing all the different colour tones. Like, she's warmer in some areas and cooler in others, red in others. So I'm just going to fix that. What I don't want to do is go too far out with the light and then make her face look like it's bulging out into her hair, because that is exactly what will happen. So when you're doing frequency separation, just make sure that you stick in with the right skin tones. So, or the shadows even. So even if you're changing the skin tone, make sure you're not changing the shadows and the light, because otherwise the shape of the face will completely change. You can see I brought those shadows in and it has changed the shape of the face, which is fine. I just don't want to bring them out and make her face look larger than it is. Okay, so I'm on my layer mask, and I'm just going to use my black brush and just mask off around those edges. I'm going to turn that off and on. I'm going to use my patch tool, and I'm just going to draw around this red part here, and I'm just going to, whoops, I forgot to go on my texture layer. So select the texture layer, and I'm just going to drag that out, just to, if I can't turn that off and on to show you. But basically it's just took away that bumpy texture. I can do the same here. So anywhere where you can see, you can use your spot healing tool as well. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my colour layer, and I'm just going to fix that colour there a little bit more. And here you can just, oops, I'm on 40%, I thought it was a bit strong. Okay, let's turn that off and on. There's a little bit there that I want to fix. I'm just going to choose there. And I'm always taking one colour into the next. I want to make sure that everything blends beautifully. I'm going to use my lasso tool and just draw around here like so. And it is feathered at 15 pixels. Make sure that you're on the thumbnail. And I'm going to go to filter, blur and Gaussian blur. And you can blur this to whatever you want to. I'm just going to do it a bit softer. There we go. And then I'm going to go into the arms as well, because I want to make sure that the skin on the arms and the hands looks perfect. I wish I could see the other hand, but it's not a big deal. I don't hate the image because I can't see it. Okay. Actually, there's just a little bit there. I am so fussy when it comes to skin. think. Yeah, looks good. Okay. You don't have to have it as strong as that. You can reduce the opacity to bring some of that natural back. I'm not going to. Okay, so I'm going to come back to the top and then we're going to go down here. So I'm going to go on blush for fair skin. We've got blush for darker skin, blush for fairer skin. I am trying to make this a kind of one-stop actions collection for you rather than split it up. And this is one of many to come, or if you're seeing this bit later, then maybe it's already available. But this is an essentials collection. So there will be a white collection, a beige collection, a painting paisley collection, and I think a colour collection as well. Maybe I shouldn't have said that just in case the coloured one doesn't come, but it may already be ready, you may be waiting for it, but it is a whole collection, and because I want to make it perfect for the image, so this collection is perfect for the darker, but it's not going to be perfect for the white images at all. So I want to make sure that everything's perfect for you. So we've done the blush. We've got peachy warm skin, so we could warm the skin up a little bit if needed. We can play that and see whether she's a little bit warm. Lovely. Okay. Now I'm going to come down to the auto subject adjustments, and this is just going to save me so much time. And I'm going to choose warm glow to start with. So I'm just going to click on that, let that play, and it's just going to play on my subject. You can see it's give her a beautiful warm glow. Let's turn that off and on. So what I am going to do, instead of lowering the opacity, I'm going to use a black brush, about 30% opacity, and I'm just going to mask that off that under eye there where it's a little bit bright for me. Turn that off and on. Perfect. You can see here it's just selected a little bit there, so we'll just remove that. It's fine. Okay, then we have dodge and burn, warm highlights, cool highlights. Do we need to cool down the highlights? Let's have a look. So I'm just going to play it. It's going to play on my subjects only, and it's cooled it down a little bit, and I actually do prefer that. If I turn that off and on, you can see what I am going to do is remove that from the dress. So even though we've got these one-click actions, you may have to make a couple of more adjustments, and that's absolutely fine because it's still saving you so much time. We have got an automatic dodge and burn, so it will just it'll add like a kind of dodge and burn, so it's going to bring out the highlights and bring some more depth to the image as well, as you can see. So I'm going to use the opacity slider to turn that down a bit. I'm going to mask that off up there. I missed that little bit before, so I need to fix that up there. It's fine though. I quite like that. I'm going to take a little bit off this side of the face so it's not too bright. This part I can just draw around. In fact, I'll use my patch tool. Oh, let me merge my layers. So we'll come back up to the handy actions, and then I'm just going to draw around there and patch that away. So to use a patch tool, we have to be working on essentially a background layer. So that's what the merged layers is for. Okay, then we have famous freckles is gorgeous, by the way. Your subject has freckles. Where is this one? Is that a brush on? Warm depth paint on. This is a really nice action. Don't think we need it on this, but I just wanted to show it you. So it's just, can you see that gorgeous warmth it's giving? But it's giving that depth to your subject as well. So if I turn that off and on, you can see that. I actually really like it. And then what we can do is use our auto subject adjustments and cool the skin tone. So we can use that warm, but then add a little bit of cool. So it's still giving that depth, but then we can keep the cool highlights and the cool overall look of the image. There are some great adjustments in here as well for neutralising the skin tone, balancing out the pink skin tone. I can mask that on the hands a little bit. Brighten, brush on, just really simple. Just brush on some brightness. Let's scroll down. Where we're going to, we've got saturate colours, so you can saturate all the different colours, illuminate the colours, so it'll just lift the light in those colours. Tonal overlays, these are really nice. So this is yellow, so it probably doesn't do what you expected it to do. It's not going to give a yellow like a yellow look, but it just adds that really beautiful tone. And again, play with your opacity slider to make it suit you. I quite like that. We've got other ones, warm tones, blue tones, green tones. Again, don't be put off by the green. These are gorgeous adjustments, hair adjustments. This is a beautiful blonde. She's more blonde, I'd say, than brunette. So we've got silky brunette, beautiful blonde, amazing red, silky black, and then a silky finish. So I'm going to paint on the beautiful blonde. Yeah, beautiful blonde. And then you've got silky finish, so you can add an even more silky finish to that. Don't know why I played it because I'm not going to use it. We've got warm studio and cool studio. These are going to play over your whole image and your subject. So they're going to separate your subject from your background. So you can work on your subject and your background separately. If you don't want to do that, then you can use it all over ones which are just below. So they're basically doing the same thing, but it's going to do it all over your image, where you can see that separating your subject and your background. It's working on them differently on both. It's working on them both differently. So we've got warm studio all over and cool studio all over. Cool studio is really pretty as well. I'm going to turn that down a bit. So again, just really play with those opacity sliders, because it can make a massive difference. You can play something at 100% and think, oh my god, that's awful. Turn it down to 30%, it looks absolutely stunning. So please use those opacity sliders. We've got cool highlights, cool shadows. We also have beautifully desaturate, so it's going to desaturate your image, but in a really nice subtle way, and it just adds that beautiful like fine art feel like that I love. And you can play that a couple of times if needed. You can also open the folder and adjust the settings, so if you want to adjust any of the saturation levels, you can do. We've got high dreamy clarity. This is going to work out different on different images. It probably won't work amazing on this image. I did upload an image of a little girl with a teddy bear in a crib, and I used it at 100% opacity, and I even masked on a little bit more as well. So it is going to look different on different images. This is only 30% opacity, and you can see it's made quite the difference. But that will add a really nice rich clarity to your subject as well. Then we have fine art mood. I absolutely love this action. It just gives you that fine art mood, what I feel is the fine art mood anyway. It's really, really pretty. It will look different on all different images. Use your opacity slider. You can even keep it on your background and mask it off your subject, or the other way around, keep it on your subject, mask it off the background. Really depending on the image, it looks great both ways. Let's have a look. What else have we got here? We've got soft saturation, which will do exactly that. It'll bring up that saturation, but nice and soft. We've got high saturation. This is going to lighten and saturate the whole image. It does leave a couple of red tones sometimes, so you might want to tone that down. But I really love this action. If I turn that off and on, it's just so pretty. You can absolutely use both together as well. You could use the high saturation and then the soft saturation separately. Turn that off and on. Then we have portrait focus. So this is going to add like a gradient at the bottom of your image, and it just focuses your eye onto your subject's face. So by bringing that darkness here, it focuses the eye here. If you open it up, you can absolutely edit this a little bit. So we've got the subject layer here. So if I wanted to bring that gradient up further, then switch to about 40% on a black brush and just mask off down here, and it's going to bring that darkness back up a little bit. Then we have Fine Art Matte. So this will play a matte all over your image, but like really, really nicely. Again, use your opacity slider. And then I'm just going to use my black brush and take that off the face, so the subject's face is really standing out. It's bringing that focus back. This is like my final light adjustment. So if you light from the left, click the left. If you light from the right, click the right. I light from the right, so I'm going to click the right, and it's just going to bring that focus back to your subject and wherever the light is coming from. So you can see here that we need to add a little bit more light here. So we absolutely can do that just with a black brush. Mask it right down. You can use a nice big brush and just bring it back where that light is coming from. If you wanted to bring the light back anywhere else, then you absolutely can. I would suggest dropping your opacity down a little bit to about 50%, and then you can just bring that light back wherever it's needed. I'm just going to bring it back onto this here. And then the hand as well, so we don't get that really dark hand. I feel like a little bit of yellow would look really nice here, so I'm going to come back up and I'm going to go to my yellow tones overlay. I'm going to turn down the opacity. I'm going to invert it, Command or Control I to invert, and then I'm just going to mask that onto the skin. And I'm going to turn the opacity down a little bit more. Let's go a little bit more. There we go. And I'm really happy with that now. So that is just using some of the actions, but obviously talking has slowed that down so much, but we have got through that pretty fast. In fact, I'm going to do it this way. So I'm going to click there, and we'll group those together and turn that off and on. So that's the difference using the actions. If you need any help with them, let me know. I'm more than happy to give you a helping hand, but there are so many actions included, and it's going to make your life so much easier and just create the most beautiful images. I hope you enjoyed this. Take care, everyone. Bye.